I started my YouTube channel a year ago whilst I was still working full-time in banking. And at the time I was working in Malaysia, I was super burnt out from the corporate grind. I was really struggling to juggle creating content consistently with my demanding job. And in general, I was just really unhappy with where I was at in life. But starting YouTube changed everything. Fast forward a year to today, I quit my job and I moved to Australia to pursue content full time, and I'm feeling the most fulfilled that I've ever felt in my life. In this video, I wanted to give you guys an honest reflection of my first year on YouTube. And despite all the challenges and struggles I faced, YouTube is still hands down one of the best decisions I've ever made. And my only regret is that I didn't start sooner. If you're a new creator or if you're thinking about starting your own channel, then I hope that this video gives you a sense of hope that the journey that you're embarking on is absolutely worth it. So we all know that doing YouTube is incredibly hard, especially when you're at the start of your journey and you're going through like this lonely chapter where you don't really know a single other person in your life that's doing something similar. And you have absolutely no clue what you're doing, what gear you should get, how to edit videos, and how to speak in front of a camera without wanting the ground to swallow you up whole. The imposter syndrome kicks in and you start thinking to yourself, who am I to be talking about these topics? I'm just a nobody. And not to forget the toxic relationship that you get into with YouTube Studio Analytics, where when your video is performing really well, you're just riding on this high. But then when your video tanks, you're just in the lowest of lows. But regardless of all of that, I still think YouTube is very much worth it. And here's all the reasons why. The first thing is that YouTube made me the most confident I've ever been in my life, and it gave me the courage to pursue a life on my own terms. YouTube is hard work, and the learning curve is steep as hell, and you gotta figure out a lot of things for yourself. Editing, scripting, lighting, camera work, just to name a few. And you have to go through this sucky period where you're just making awful videos back to back and you're not getting any views or any sort of reinforcement for the work that you're doing. When I stuck with it and when I proved time and time again to myself that I could figure out something that I had no clue how to do before, that I can suck at something initially but then improve over time with effort, it gave me a lot of confidence in myself, not just as a creator, but as a person in general. That confidence in content creation bled into other areas, and because of that, it encouraged me to take incredible leaps with my life. Quitting my job felt less scary, and moving to a new country alone felt less scary. Doing YouTube helped me to make those big decisions because I started to really believe in myself, to trust myself and know that no matter how hard or how scary things can get, I know that I can figure it out. And that propelled me forward on my journey to chasing the life of my dreams. The second reason is the people that YouTube has brought into my life. I will say this over and over again, but YouTube for me was a lonely journey. I didn't know a single person in my life doing YouTube or any form of content creation, really. I didn't have anyone to speak to share my struggles with, to share my wins with. And don't get me wrong, I had friends from the very beginning that supported me a lot with doing all this stuff. But at the end of the day, they don't understand. They don't share the same struggles. They can't really relate to what I'm going through. But all of that changed when I joined this YouTuber course and someone from the community reached out to me asking if I wanted to join their weekly mastermind with a whole bunch of other YouTubers. And joining this mastermind was one of the best things that ever happened to me on my YouTube journey. We talk to each other virtually on a weekly basis where we talk about our progress with YouTube, give each other feedback on our videos and thumbnails, and we just support each other emotionally, which is so incredibly crucial if you're in the content space. Over the past year, I also reached out to other YouTubers and connected with them on Instagram and made this WhatsApp chat with everyone. And in fact, at the time of this recording, we just had our first virtual hangout last night, which was super wholesome and really fun. And so yeah, YouTube gave me this really incredible, unique opportunity to meet amazing people from all over the world who I would have never met otherwise if I hadn't started my own channel. And they really are from all over the world, like the US, Canada, Germany, Japan, UK, Australia. The next reason is that YouTube broke me out of my burnout by giving me a purpose. You essentially get burnt out in two ways. The first way is by pure overworking, and the second way is not finding any meaning in what you're doing and not having a purpose in life. You realize very quickly with YouTube that you can create a really big impact on someone else's life just by sharing your own life experiences and sharing all the lessons you learned and all the mistakes that you made, and that can directly help someone else who's going through similar struggles. Whereas in corporate, all you're doing is just increasing shareholder value and making the big boys on top richer than they need to be. When I think back to the people that have influenced me the most in my life, it's basically YouTubers and content creators online. We interact with these people on a daily basis because we're all on social media and we're always consuming content. YouTube was my companion growing up, and I'm sure a lot of you guys who are in the same generation as I am can definitely relate to this. YouTube is where I learned how to manage my finances, how to do my makeup and my hair. It taught me about mindset shifts to become more productive, how to handle my emotions. And YouTube is also where I learned most of the things that I know about nutrition, health, and fitness. YouTube has touched every major aspect of my life, and to think that my content could be helping someone else out in the same way just blows my mind every single time. And it really gives me this sense of fulfillment and gratitude. Seeing your view count go up is a really nice dopamine hit in the short term, but what really gets me every single time is when I get comments from you guys and you say things like, "Oh, thank you so much for this video. It really helped me to solve this problem or get over that situation." And it just nothing beats that feeling, I swear. The next point I wanted to touch on is the extra income that you get from YouTube. Even as a small creator, you can earn a decent amount of money if your view counts are good. Just on its own, you're not going to be able to sustain a living off of AdSense because it's pretty volatile from month to month. Bigger channels are able to create a living off of YouTube because their business model doesn't just depend on AdSense alone. Usually they'll have other digital products or services or physical products even, which is where they generate a lot of their income. And in that way, they're not at the mercy of the YouTube algorithm. But even with my channel, which I would consider to be a small channel, I've had a few videos that did really well. And I remember in my best month, I got the equivalent of half my month's salary at my old corporate job. And I remember it was also just from one single video doing well. Granted, of course, that I was earning in Malaysian ringgit, and in general, people in Malaysia don't get paid as well as our Western counterparts, for example. And also the fact that I was getting AdSense money in USD. But still, that was a huge deal to me, getting half my month's salary just from doing something that I loved. And it's not just AdSense as well. I've had multiple brand partnerships in the past. Even as a small creator, if your growth potential is there, then brands will definitely reach out to you to collaborate. All that extra money was super helpful to me because at the time I was saving up to quit my job and move to Australia. So in that sense, financially, YouTube did help me to change my life. So those are some of the ways that YouTube changed my life over the past year. And like I said, my only regret is that I didn't start sooner. On a side note, I've been thinking about posting more content about YouTube specifically. So it would be things like sharing more of my personal experiences of being a creator on YouTube, sharing tips on how to grow your channel based on everything that I've learned so far, how to make content consistently with a full-time job, and just things of that nature. So if you'd like to see more of that content, then please do comment below, and feel free to also give me suggestions on what sort of topics I should cover for those kind of videos. Okay guys, as always, take care and see you in the next video.